Hello friends, welcome to my channel on Pharma Learnings. Thank you for listening to my prior videos on how to apply to School of Pharmacy, what are the components for PhD application, what are the selection criteria for PhD application, and during this video, I will just give a brief presentation on how to prepare statement of purpose while you are applying to PhD in School of Pharmacy in United States. Mainly, when we are talking about the structural component of SOP, we can divide it into six or mainly four basic concepts, and which could consist of 1 to 6 from paragraph number 1 to paragraph number 6, what it should constitute in general. So this is kind of like it applies to everyone, and then one can tailor it by their prior experience to prepare such information. So first and foremost, let's start with the paragraph first. Typically, the statement of purpose should be like 2 page long with A4 paper size. Font could be Arial Times New Roman 11 or 12 font size with at least 1.5 spacing, or double spacing is also fine. But depending on the content, you can play with the spacing, right? 1.5 to 2 if you have too much content. But it is always better to make it visually attractive, and two double space would be better in certain case. But we will talk about the length later on. Let's start with the main content. The first paragraph is basically you are trying to convey readers that why should you read the entire SOP. So this is the most important paragraph, which will be something related to which you are throwing yourself to explain that why do you like this field in general? What are your aspiration? What are the challenges associated with this field, with the field of application, in a brief paragraph, like from your beginning of before even you did your bachelor's, why did you do this program? So there should be some component of aspirational component should be listed in the initial introduction paragraph, which could be 6 to 7 lines with the given specification. In the paragraph number 2, now you're trying to you aspired to do to join this research field or this career track. You gain education, and how this education help you in terms of exploring further research career. So this is where one can try to highlight their bachelor's experience, where they can participate in the conference presentation, some seminar, attended few lectures from expert, and that inspire them to pursue further careers into their masters of PhD, masters of pharmacy, and that triggers you to pursue further career in masters. And then during the masters, you officially conduct a research project. So within paragraph number 4 and 5, you can link that research experience with what is being required in a PhD student, like consistency, aspiration, a strong sense of aspiration is key for any PhD application, because PhD could be very uh, sometimes frustrating experience. So the consistency in the candidate and how they can overcome different challenges during the education, it's important, because basically it's an experimental research, and sometimes experience provides positive finding, and that may lead to uh, subsequently a positive outcome. But the negative finding requires you to rethink and reconvey and restart your approach to a different direction. So therefore, there should be some mix of experience which will say that, okay, I did this thing, during this thing I encountered so and so problem and I solved it, or I learned this thing, so that these kind of research narratives of your prior experience could definitely help to convey that how you you are aware of the research process in general, and then you can say that what are the additional things that you think you would require to to in this field to be more on the like more technical savvy, or more to be considered as advanced or experienced or to the expert level within the particular research field. So that makes your application as a coherent piece of application, because from the first you start your aspiration, second your earlier experience of bachelor's and how you can link to your master's experience, and then from master's to how you have conducted a research project, and what else from this stage, what do you think as an aspiration for your career, and how the PhD program could help you to get what you want to achieve, and how you can contribute to the PhD program. So that's basically an interplay of demonstrating. Basically, it's an argument where you're trying to convince the reviewer that you are a good fit for the program. And finally, the concluding paragraphs, I have listed just paragraph 6, but it could be 2 paragraph if you want to have a highly customized application where you select schools and then read more about the individual schools, about the research faculty, and highlight their current achievement. Like so and so professor is working on this area, so and so professor working on this area. I am always, and then how you link your prior experience to work on those particular areas. But it doesn't need to be too much specific. Also, you can be broad in terms of narrating that you want to working on these methods, these techniques, and you feel like a good fit, and the research institute that you are applying to has expert working in this area, so that you want to learn from that. Always keep in mind the learning component and try to convince in a way that you don't be an authoritarian, that you want or you know this thing, but you want to learn this thing. That there is a difference between conveying the things, uh, because it's a non-verbal communication. So the language is also important while you're communicating to your peers, especially your mentors, future mentors for PhD. So there should be a balance in the write-up, and therefore it is always we should always remember these things, right? First, it will always take a good amount of time to prepare a first draft. Although this is just 2 paragraphs or 2 pages of writing, but it will take a time. You can at least anticipate 1 or 2 weeks of continuous work from your end in preparing the first draft. And it is always better first you write, reflect, and revise. After that, you try to ask your colleague to review, or English professional to review your draft and provide you comment. Subsequently, create a master SOP which could fit for different institute, and then you could have some fillers for different institute, where you can identify specific expertise of particular institute faculty, and then you link that expertise with your desire to get those expertise by learning those methods or those research skill from these expert mentors. So this is, of course, this is not like absolutely like a structural, eh, but it would vary from individual to individual. So it is always better to have a specific SOP based on your experience. Rather than, I am aware that some of the institute provides SOP, which is a standard format and which could be identified easily by the reviewers that this is not written by the candidate itself. And that is very, you put yourself in a difficult spot because reviewers and PhD mentors reviews such kind of application on a consistent basis. So it's always good to have your experience and then try to fit your experience in the structural, like underlying construct of these 6 paragraphs to make your SOP. With this, I would conclude this presentation. Thank you very much for listening. If you like my content, please subscribe my channel. And if you have any question, please leave your question in the comment box. I would be happy to answer those. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.